What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at you once again. Hopefully, what I say and have said in my previous videos has resonated with a lot of people who are either indifferent or who are juxtaposed between what they know they can do and accomplish and what has been systematically structured to keep them from progressing. But before I proceed with this video, if you're watching this video around children, please pause and remove the children from your immediate vicinity because, again, these videos are not for children. Now, here we go. This title of the video is called To the Latent God Within You. Now, I know that this might scare a few people because they never really had the ability to determine within themselves a decision-making capability. I know that this might resonate with some people on the opposite side who have also practiced the ability to bring things to fruition and have seen no ill results. Although failure is a part of life, no ill results in regards to their self-actualization. And to the agents in the middle who totally want disharmony between either side, who totally function based upon the indoctrinative sense of what we call life and how life is basically composed to them. This is the ideology of creation within yourself. Now, I know a lot of times on these channels on YouTube, we often embark upon other people's content, people's information, so forth and so on, or just the roundabout circumspect idea of life as life is practiced. And I often explain to people that the reality that you're experiencing, something else has spent its time basically manifesting itself and making you believe that it's the way it is. And this is the centralization of deprogramming, making you believe that things are just the way they are because they're supposed to be that way, and that's not the case. Things are made because they are created to be a certain way in order for it to work for the benefit of what created it. So what you have in your personal life or involved in personally is something that was created systematically in order to make things work for the benefit of the creator. Let me dumb it down a little bit. You know, in the movie The Matrix, you had people remember this. You had the architect, right? The architect, as figuratively spoken, as was what? An old white man with a suit, you know, watching monitors and everything. The architect even asked Neo, who was the character in the plot of the movie, which if you reverse it, it means the one that came from realization, who broke out of the systematic indifference and so forth. And Morpheus was, or has been known, Orpheus, according to Greek mythology, those who have actually done their reading and research know that that's the god of dreams, and then you have Trinity. All this stuff was symbolic, right? But the architect, even as Neo, man, we got a fucking problem, man, and I can't fix the problem. Now, you hold yourself in a place of high esteem, but you can't fix the problem. So now it's not even of the system to be fixed. It's the personality in regards to what the system is to fix it themselves. So now all you people understand that when it comes down to accountability, you are responsible for your outcomes in your particular life and circumstances. This goes beyond paperwork. In regards to, like I say, a lot of things on these channels and so forth and so on, it goes beyond that stuff. It's all about your interpretation and how you see things and you view stuff. And stop living with the ideology that you cannot do something because can't means you will not want to. You don't want to. You want someone to fix your problems. You want someone to fix your problems. You know why? Because you have never given yourself the ability or the attempt to do it your fucking self. Some of y'all have the ideology that money will fix everything. If I had more money, I'd be fine. Money is an illusion. What you're feeding yourself is illusionary concepts that you have never manifested anything physically to change your situation. And therefore, the spirit that lies dormant within you will never be resurrected. Trust me, people, there's no such thing as something that's going to save you. You must save yourself because you are accountable for the things that you actually encounter in your personal life. Serious. Now, you might not believe what I'm saying, but there's a beautiful thing in the ability that is possessive of self, because when we create things and we make things ourselves, we're often pleased if indeed the things that we create have a positive result. Sort of like when I was in college, art students, oh man, you couldn't tell them that their paintings weren't the shit. And those are their paintings. Now their paintings are put out there as to be displayed because it's a particular instance that they created. Well, we all can judge. But at the same token, one thing we cannot judge as opposed to what we have done. Those paintings were their creation. We can say what's good or not, but to what resonated with their spirit as far as creation, they had a lot more fucking guts than you did. Now we could judge whether or not it's this, it's that, but don't say nothing if you didn't do anything better or the equivalent thereof. You see what I'm saying? And you have to do that shit every day of your existence, because there's often people who will often sit back and judge, but have never tapped into their latent abilities, nor ever acquired a position to basically call themselves something other than what they believe they are. See, a lot of you people that are in the world call yourselves one thing, but you really never even lived up to the expectation or the actualization of actually accumulating their ideology behind the title because it was something given to you. When have you ever become yourself? Is basically what I'm saying. So, now that we got that point across, the latent ability that is within you, you haven't practiced. You haven't become. Now, age doesn't mean anything. Realization is within the spirit of willingness to basically say that you're going to progress with that task, or if not, then just leave it alone. But to the creative mind, you must understand that there are higher realities than what you actually have experienced, because the reality is you've only lived a percentage of your true existence. But because you're bombarded by creative idea and that something else has manufactured, yes, I said it, has manufactured your existence, you indeed would choose to just believe that things are just the way they are. And if you do, stop this video in less than 10 minutes and go back to sleep. But for those who know the higher reality and the higher essence and being of self, will know that exactly what I'm saying is very true. You must break the shackles of mental bondage, because whether you believe it or not, you can peaceably still coexist with bondage of something that basically wants to enslave your mentality to keeping you from the higher essence of self. This is the reason why I try to explain to people that the concept of sovereignty has been something that has totally been looked down upon based upon the individuality of self, because as long as the system could keep you from realizing who you are, you would never do it on your fucking own. And that's why it creates problems, and it wants you to coincide with the system because it doesn't want you to be better. It wants you to be worse in order for it to justify its position in existence. Straight the fuck up. It wants you to fuck up because it wants somebody to blame. Let's go back to that whole doctrine that was actually looked at in Genesis. It wants something to blame, but it creates it along the fucking problem all along the way. That's what it does. It wants to blame you. You are guilty. But it's the creation of the fucking problem. Now, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, hey, great. That's fine. More power to you. But if you do resonate with what I'm saying, you have to understand that the system will only create problems. It doesn't create solutions. It does not. That's a fucking fundamental fact. The creator of the solution is self. It's your responsibility to create a solution and to basically make sure you ferment this in your life to keep all of the other invasive forces out. But I know that over the years, people have been indoctrinated with a sense of fear. There comes a time where fear should no longer be an existent force within your life. Because if you know who you are and you know what you can do to whatever and whoever would invade upon your peace, then you negate that from your existence. Straight. If you don't have the courage to do that, then don't complain. Simple. Don't complain. Don't fight. Don't ask for shit. Don't want nothing because it's a battle. People, it's a fucking battle. Whether you believe it or not. You live in a time and space where the system that we live in has totally been at a state of perpetual fucking warfare. You might not want to believe that because you might have a Benz and a nice truck and a house and never been to jail and all these fucking fantastic ideas. You're still in fucking warfare. Whether you believe it or not. That's what it is. And that's why at every angle, whether media or so forth, wants to progress it to you, they're showing you that there's warfare, and they're also letting you know who the warfare is directed to. So all you motherfuckers that's out there living in your inflated sense of safety, you're not safe neither. You're not. It's just that imagery is cast upon a particular sort of people as opposed to the general whole, because once the whole figures it out, the shit must come down. Once the whole figures out exactly what is actually being foisted upon them, yeah. That's a fact. But the whole can never have a collective idea of solving its own problems. That's why there's called isolationism, and there's called an ideology of security behind what is particularly placed before people, because the system in and of itself knows that you don't have the determination or the ability to discern between what those facts are. We live in a society that basically says, as long as it's not us, fine. It ain't me, fine. And in reality, you're excluding yourself from a greater dilemma that eventually will meet you down the path. Straight. The latent ability of the Creator within the positive-minded people, I'm speaking positive, in regards to that, is to basically become the determiner and solver of your own problem. Because as long as you keep on existing, as long as you keep on living, the world wants to bring you sorrow, misery, chaos, violence, disease, strife, warfare. That's what it's bent on. That's what it's bent on. It's not going to change at all. It's going to keep functioning that way. The New World Order comes when you establish a new world of self and determination, and you start killing the old world order of things, because the old world order of things has no discrimination of functioning for the past few thousand years that it's been existent to keep on foisting drama and chaos in your fucking life. Period. The only controller and ruler of your world should be yourself. Stop giving your confidence to fiction. Stop giving your peace you sacrifice continuously to a system that doesn't favor peace. Every time you turn around, a fucking media, TV, whatever, it's always something fucking negative. Warfare, rumors of war, global debt, coronavirus, and so forth. And so it's always a drama. It's never a solution. Now do you get what I'm saying? The motivating primary force is basically obligating people to subject itself to its particular will by creating chaos at every fucking angle. That's what it does. That's what it will do, and that's what it will continuously keep doing at every angle. Now, here's a glimmer of hope. When it comes down to the re-identification of history in this country, like I said in my previous video before, critical race theory, that's only because it's becoming more aware to the masses of people who now have more access to information that this particular institution that we live in, called society in America, totally wants to negate its past in order to rewrite and recreate a new beginning. But there are people who are voiceless, and yes, there are people who actually are going to coincide with the agenda to make it keep going the way it is. You know, it's just that you have to realize that in order for you to have some sense of a peaceable future, you better learn how to fight and combat evil forces by any fucking means, whether you believe that or not, in order for that to not ever come to its existence. Now, I know this is not something that a lot of people want to hear. Now, fighting is basically something that you, whether you believe it or not, because shit don't affect you, don't mean it won't. Don't ever exclude yourself from the fucking battle. Because whether you believe it or not, even if socially things don't affect you, certain things still affect you financially. They still affect you economically. They still affect you socially. These things are implementations of things that are basically placed against you, whether you are cognizant or non-cognizant about it, that you cannot avoid. It is what it is, people. Period. It is what it is. It is your job and responsibility to basically make sure that you always protect the most intrinsic part of your existence in yourself, and to make sure that you yourself are not diametrically opposed or compromised by what's being implemented against you. See, it'd be cool if, what they used to say when I was growing up, ignorance is bliss. It's always peaceful when things that are very severe are hidden from the sensory view of society. It's great. Circus, football, porno, fast food. It is what it is. Once you start realizing things, now you have an accountability to self to act upon it. If you don't want to, that's your choice. It's your decision. But don't blame anyone or anything for your inability to act. It's something that you will totally have to deal with. Straight up. So, in conclusion, all you gatekeepers in my comment section, mind your fucking business on my channel. Don't colonize my fucking channel. Don't even try to. Because I'm my own nation. Don't come with your opinions, your guesses, and your misses in regards to the concepts of my higher self. Because I will tell you, forcefully, as a man and melanated in a universal starseed, warfare is what I'm all about. Straight up. And I'm not letting nothing take that shit from me. No opinion, no doctrine, no system, nothing. Because I live in my spiritual immersion of self. I don't let nobody determine who the fuck I am or where I will go. Your system is what it is. Keep living by it. Just keep that shit out of my motherfucking water. My water stays fresh. I don't need a suggestive additive to my water. I don't. And nor do I welcome it. Make sense? That goes to the motherfucking agents. Straight. Keep that shit in your lane. Because trust me, if it came down to it, you're going to need a face mask. And I ain't talking about one of them bullshit cloth motherfuckers you was wearing goddamn when shit was... No. Not at all. But to the greater majority of positive people, to those people who really are looking for the higher ascension of self and the individuality and the path, and one day, and the one day that there will be universal peace amongst the solidarity of conscience, trust me, stay tuned. You just learned a very significant truth in less than 24 minutes. Your first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. It is what it is. But people, stay tuned, stay aware, and stay safe. Because at every angle, there is a latent force that's outside of the spiritual self within you that totally wants to try to derail you at every angle. The object is to lose fear and gain confidence within self-creativity and stop letting the system dictate to you who the fuck you are and who the fuck you are not. Okay? If you don't want to do that, then this video isn't for you. Nor is life as you determine to be positive for you. But if it is indeed you, then you better learn how to get ready to navigate some very tumultuous fucking water in order to gain some footing. Okay? Because whether you believe it or not, there are entities and forces that are behind the scenes that want to see this motherfucker burn. Straight up. We ain't gonna deny that. We see that every day. Keep yourself safe. Peace, light, and love to y'all. But stay safe. You heard it from me first.